Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Rescreen podcast. Viztee is too sick with con flu to do the intro, so I'll do it today. We're going to be talking about Doctor Who. We just watched the first episode of Christopher Eccleston's season. I'm Overlite.
I'm Viztee.
And I don't remember what she says next. Rescreen on. Oh, it's so good, isn't it? Isn't the theme so good?
I kind of missed it.
I missed it so
obviously
much.
They changed it.
Yeah.
They changed the theme in like the newer seasons.
But isn't it so far from what it was? Or like,
yeah,
it's also like so. Isn't it like a lot more like orchestral or like a lot more like a lot of instruments, and it's very like fancy. Whereas, oh my gosh, Eccleston theme is like so like dirty and messy, but it's like, oh, it sounds great.
Yeah. Oh, it's just very nostalgic as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I just realized. I just thought about it then, and it's 18 years ago. Jeez. Is that right? 2005.
I mean, it feels like watching it. It felt like a million years ago.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, I think even like before talking about anything that happened in the episode, 2005, like just there, it's 2005 London. Oh, it's probably filmed in Wales, but it's 2005 London. And just the cars and
the internet.
The internet.
Oh, the internet.
Oh, yeah, it was like a shot of the internet, and it was like, oh, Mickey, can I use your PC? And she goes into Mickey's bedroom.
Yeah.
And Mickey's PC is the PC
to
that I still have in my attic. It's like I still have that same fucking like sort of PC. It's like it's a 4x3. Like really chunky monitor. I can't even remember like what they're called.
iPhones don't even exist yet. Like the iPod doesn't exist. I think that's like 2007, right?
Is it?
Something, isn't it?
Oh my god.
Maybe. Hang on. Let me check this.
I don't know. Because I was in. Oh god,
oh,
yeah,
no,
probably.
iPod's 2001.
Wait, was it?
iPhone.
Jesus.
iPhone. Oh Christ.
Well,
the iPhone is 2007.
The iPod. Yeah, the iPhone. Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
yeah,
you're right. Right.
Because I still had my Nokia. My dad passed down Nokia, whatever the fuck, and I never took it to school. And I didn't take my phone to school until like 2000.
You know what I'm thinking of?
The
iPod Touch, which is like basically what modern phones are. Like the first time it looks like a modern phone is 2007 as well. So that like, you know, the app scrolling, website browsing, internet searching thing, it doesn't exist yet.
Right.
So the only internet is on PCs.
Yeah. Yeah, no Blackberries yet. When did the Blackberry come out?
Oh my god. Oh, it's so beautiful though. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, it's just like crikey.
Like this whole episode, I'm consistently struck by. I think honestly, I didn't even do like an intro. Like, you know how I normally have like an intro, how I care a lot about it. I think I was just so struck by, because it's like such a snapshot of life at the time.
Yeah, I think that's what all the Doctor Who's, because it's like, at the time, it's like, wow, look at how cool and modern it is. Wow, look at this. This is peak British time. Look at how hip Rose is living in London.
The opening,
in her mum's apartment in central London, working at the random generic clothes store and eating lunch outside of random generic London monument.
I don't think.
Wow.
I think it's like to me, it was like such a representation of what it was like to just be working, to just be like a working person, and what life was
a
like
working
for
class
20-year-olds or whatever back in 2005.
How is she supposed to be like 21 or something? Isn't
Yeah.
she, Rose? I don't think.
I mean, I could guess that. It seems like it. Like it's living with mother, working minimum wage. These are some
your
familiar
job gets blown up.
hallmarks.
Classic 21-year-old.
Hate it when that happens.
Hate it when that happens.
Dating some guy, you know.
Dating some
just
guy who doesn't
everyone I know is
really
like
care
this.
about you. He just wants to go down and watch football with the lads.
Yeah.
But he will drive you to a random guy's house. So
it's beautiful. Also, like I think one of the opening shots, they spend ages like zooming out in like the intro, like weaving through like. I think this was an opening shot, or maybe they were walking, or I don't know. But it's like going through like from the apartment, from I think Rose's apartment, like through the quote unquote streets. But it's like, you know, there's some bins, there's some grass, it's all like brick and mortar buildings, a bit of concrete. It's like
it's probably in Wales, that bit.
I've seen this scenery hundreds and thousands of times. You know, it's so like.
Yeah.
It's compared to, I think, like the longer this sort of Doctor Who goes on, the further it gets from season 1, Eccleston, the more like aliens. It's crazy aliens that it gets.
In the latest 2 seasons, they filmed a lot of it in Liverpool and a lot of it in Sheffield, and they really let into that, and I appreciate that a lot.
Okay.
And that was a big thing.
Why did it suck then? Why did everyone say it sucked? Was it good?
What the fuck?
I thought everyone says it was bad.
The bad stuff about the latest 2 seasons massively pivoting was that the pacing of all of the episodes was fucking dog shit.
Right.
Okay. So like it would have been like if the episode, it's like, oh wow, this seems like a cool premise, and it seems like it's going really well. Oh, suddenly it's over, like that. Or, oh, it seems like this episode would be a really cool 2-part. Oh no, they've had to wrap it up in 5 minutes. It's gone, like that.
I see.
So that was basically the problem. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, back to Eccleston. Back to classic 2005.
So from what I've been
Doctor
told.
Who.
It's been a long time since I watched any Eccleston, but it's like such a like working class representation.
He's a true
this season of
man.
Doctor Who, yeah. Like the opening thing is like it's just going through the streets. Rose works in clothing retail. You know, they like she's goofing off in like by a statue with Mickey. They're surrounded by people. Like it's so like it feels so much more like. They're just people, like actual people, rather than like going on space adventures.
Yeah. In this episode.
Who knows? Space adventures next time.
Yeah. And the Doctor, you know, Rose is like, why have you got a northern accent if you're an alien? And he's like, well, many planets have a north.
Which is so beautiful. Such a beautiful response.
You silly sausage.
Beans on toast. They bring that up at some point.
But I think there was lots of cute things in this episode, like the writing. It was very cheeky the whole way through. There was lots of like just little cheeky references to stuff and like little cheeky funny jokes all the way through.
I feel like they tried. It's so hard for me to tell because it feels like they. Oh my god, they talk different.
They talk different, didn't they, back in 2005?
2005, they're talking different.
You were talking right
strange,
different.
They were.
18 years ago, everybody were talking right different.
They have Rose and the Doctor have a conversation at one point, and it feels like they are trying so hard to make them sound like they're just, you know, like how anyone would normally react, where she's like, you know, the exchange they're having is like very... Like they're not really using words, and they're not really. But because it's like he's an alien, and because it's I guess 2005, I maybe that has nothing to do with it. It's like so hard to tell if they're doing a good job or a bad job, because it's just the way they talk to each other is so like she's like, "Oh, who are you?" and he's like, "The doctor," and like, "Doctor what?" and I'm like, that doesn't feel quite right. Is that how people talk?
Doctor Who. Oh.
It... yeah, Doctor Who. Anyway, I think that's more of a meme, the Doctor Who thing. Oh yeah, there's another one. Are we going to talk about what happens in the episode? Do we?
Yeah, we'll get there.
It's
we'll
pretty.
Do
there's a lot of it is like scene setting and characters interacting, and the actual like thickness of what happens is
the meat.
Pretty light. But also, it's like setting up a lot and like kind of demonstrates how the show is going to run. But like pretty early on, Rose's retail job gets blown up.
Well, the doctor blows it up.
Yeah, by the doctor. Good job, doctor.
Yeah, he shows up and he's like, it's funny because the episode like starts with this nice sort of montage of Rose just living her life, and then she's like got to go to the basement for some reason, and the music is like it's like this musical montage, and the music cuts and it's all spooky, which I was like, this is classic Doctor Who, right?
Yeah.
Doctor Who, unlike a lot of sci-fi, I feel like a lot of sci-fi TV isn't very, like, doesn't really lean into kind of the spookiness, whereas Doctor Who really likes to lean into this kind of, like, creepy.
I think...
Not as much recently.
Part of it is,
but, like, that sort of old, like, 2005 era, like, really lent into the creepy.
I think Doctor Who really likes to rely on, and I think this is... for budget reasons, it's so beautiful when you can see how cheap they're being with the budget, and you really can see it in so many parts. They really like to rely on Doctor Who being about like normal people. It's just like, oh, normal people and normal doing normal things, and then they have to deal with aliens, and they're all like, oh my god, there's aliens in the Eiffel Tower!
Or even when they're in space, it's like, oh, welcome to our space New York library. We're just having a perfectly normal time in this space New York library, and then it's just like, oh my god, this weird thing is happening, and everybody's reacting in a way they would normally react in, and if this weird thing was happening, but it happens to be in a space New York library.
Yeah. You're talking about the Vashta Narada?
I was thinking about the hey, who turned out the lights?
Yeah, them. Yeah. Anyway.
Hey.
They do. I think it's that. I think like it's like when you take, you know, oh, it's normal people, but suddenly there's aliens. That is gonna come off as kind of weird and creepy, because it's that idea of like, I think also kind of one of the things of this. It comes up a little bit, it kind of like weighs in really heavy at the end, is it's kind of like escapism, where it's like, oh, it's featuring a bunch of normal people, and then it's always like, oh, what if these normal people suddenly had to deal with this alien situation? It's like kind of an escapist fantasy in the way that like Rose is kind of starting to lean more and more towards like escaping from her normal life, normal job, just like, you work, you eat, you sleep, and that's it. And like at some point, the doctor's like pointing out and like sort of talking down on like on humanity, and being
just
like,
get a bit sassy several times.
Bunch of apes. All you do is you work, you sleep, you eat, and that's it.
Eat your beans.
Yeah. And then there's like, oh, but the doctor goes on magical adventures. But it's like when you have that, you know, oh, they're just normal people. It's really easy to be like, hey, you know, what happens? What if, you know, the bins? When you get so bored at your 9 to 5 job, you start fantasizing about if the bins were evil, and if they ate
Yeah.
you know, like that's what it is, right? It's literally that.
Yeah. That it's that, but in a TV show.
In a TV show, so it's like actually what happened if the bins were, or what happened if all the mannequins came to life and tried to strangle people. Like it's so much of that.
Yeah, for sure. What happened if all of every stone statue in the world was actually came to life every time you looked away from it, and if it touched you, it sapped away your time life force and sent you back in time.
And
Like that.
Yeah, and that's like, really easy to go spooky with it.
Yeah,
because it would be.
I think they do it with like the editing as well. Oh, it's just
the really budget editing.
Yeah, but it like with the way they like I don't know. It's just like they let into the creepiness and it works. Even like, and it's obviously aimed at like it's a family show. So it's you watch it when you're a kid. You would sit there, you'd watch it, you'd go, fucking hell, this is scary, and you'd go run and hide behind your sofa. And then you grow up, and you have your own kids, and you sit there, and you watch it with your kids, and you go, oh, when I was young on TV, I watched this, and when I was a kid, I used to hide behind my sofa. And then your kids go, oh god, oh, this scared my parents and they hid behind their sofa, this must be fucking scary. And then they watch it and they shit their pants and they go and run behind the sofa. And then the cycling continues. That's Doctor Who.
This is a piece of
it's been on TV for so fucking long.
Yeah. This is like just a part of the British, for people who don't know, this is like a part of the British just cultural consciousness. That is like the idea of watching Doctor Who and like this, how it kind of gets scary sometimes, and how sometimes like, oh my god, there's a Dalek and it's terrifying, and all the kids go and hide behind the sofa with like a cushion, hugging a cushion. Like that image is burned into the mind of every single person in, I want to say England, possibly I don't know if it extends to the UK, because I don't know if Doctor Who ever gave the rest of it a chance. But it's such a like, if you think of Doctor Who, one of the hallmarks is children being scared of the scary monsters and hiding behind a sofa.
For sure.
It's a beloved tradition.
God, the Weeping Angels, they're the worst.
They're not in this episode.
No.
This episode is...
It's just the scary mannequins.
Also, I think Doctor Who has always had, like, this idea of, like, being... I mean, I was just saying, what if the bins ate you? Like, there's literally an episode where furniture eats people. A man gets eaten by a sofa. That's old school Doctor Who. There is an episode where the furniture is eating people. I think Doctor Who has always relied on like kind of things that are a part of like modern living, that are like new or sort of everywhere, or just like those things where if you like stop and think about it, you'd be like, oh yeah.
I think there's always those little things.
There is one of these lampposts. You know, there's lamps on every street. You know, what would happen if they were actually like, you know, they were actually aliens with arms?
Yeah.
And like, you know, that's this episode. The villain is plastic and mannequins.
Yeah. Yeah, the mannequins in Rose's shop come to life, and they try and get her. And they killed the electrician. He was down there earlier on. The Doctor saves her in classic Doctor Who fashion. They just run away. Any situation, just run away. Classic Doctor Who.
Yeah.
They don't shoot people in Doctor Who.
It's the classic
family show.
Yeah, no, the Doctor doesn't shoot. He's got a rule, no like guns, I think. No guns.
No killing.
No killing
unless
or something.
He's angry.
Unless he's angry, in which case he does usually kill. I mean,
this
episode he doesn't really do the pacifism thing. He tries it,
well,
but he's also like
Eccleston's Doctor Who, is a lot more willing to see the world burn.
Yeah, he gets way more pacifist after that.
Yeah. I think Rose keeps him in check. He definitely
She's
gets
the
a lot
one that
more
kicks
world-burny.
the anti-plastic
Oh, in this episode.
vial into. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think as this season goes on, he definitely.
This is episode 1, and I can't. Literally the only thing I can tell you about the rest of the season is the word "bad wolf" probably comes up, and also
the theme. I can't remember if it's Rose's theme or if it's the Bad Wolf theme.
Rose tries to unionize some ood probably at some point and talks about like being a dinner lady. Is that season? Is that season? I don't know. I don't. It's been so long. I haven't.
Jack's in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Should we talk about episode 1? Do we need to? All right.
So
we've pictured the scene: working class.
Yeah,
Rose works clothing retail.
She's gone into the basement of her retail.
The doctor appears because the mannequins are trying to kill her.
Yeah.
He has a bomb and tells her to leave. There's very tense music as she worryingly walks round the corner to the front of on the outside of the retail store to the front of it, and then tries to cross the road. Very worryingly.
While the doctor saved her, she's holding this arm, like he's pulled an arm off a mannequin because it was blocking the elevator door. And she's like, in a panic, she's just not tossed this arm away. She's just been carrying it the whole time. So she's running away from the building because the doctor's gone, "I've got a bomb."
The arm's not that important.
So you should run away. So she's been carrying this arm the whole time.
The arm's not that important. What's important is,
it is important.
There's very dramatic music playing as she sort of half runs, half walks, not sure which to do, out the side of an alleyway in front of the retail store where there's just lots of people walking by, you know. There's like 10 people that walk through the shot at some point, and she's like very stressfully trying to like cross this road, and there's like tense music playing, but it's literally just like she's in a public place. The doctor told her to run, but she's just crossing a road.
Yeah.
She's just crossing a road. And then she gets across the road and then the building blows up.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
But then
Whoa, I didn't know that was such a stressful situation with all the stressful music playing.
My favourite part is then it cuts to her being back at home and sat on the sofa, and her mum and her boyfriend are there. And her mum's just on the phone, like in the most British, like stereotypical British mum way. And she's like talking to her friend. She's like, "Oh, Debbie, I can't believe it. She deserves some compensation." She goes, "Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, she's all right. She's white as a bloody sheet. She is.
It's aged
she's
I look like her daughter now.
Yeah,
you see the lines
I look
on
like
her face.
her daughter. Yeah, she's got lines all over her face. She looks fucking awful."
Oh, Rose, just a minute. Oh, I spoke to my friend. They know the mirror man. You can do an interview. It's 500 quid, that is.
500 quid? 500. Yeah, you've lost your fucking job, haven't you? Because the place is blown up. You need the money.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, she's like just ripping into her and just like, and it's just like, oh no.
You got no job. You're not going to work. How are you going to earn money? I'm not going to cover for you.
Listening to me Nan on the phone, and then so Rose hangs up the phone. Somebody else rings up, and she carries on, does it against someone else, and I was like, oh god. It's like listening to me Nan on the phone.
Mickey comes over, is like, "Oh, you want to come to the bar? I'll buy you a beer, my treat." And she's like, "There's a match on, isn't it?" He's like,
"Yeah.
Oh, it might be one on. There might be 5 minutes left. If we can catch the end." She's just like, just go. You know, it's so like.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit about the fact that she's just like, you know, been just not narrowly avoided being in an explosion at work.
Okay, that bit isn't working class. That bit's just being a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
But like the pub,
he just wants to watch the football.
Pub to watch some footy. Fucking 500 quid interview. The mum being like nagging about it's just so like oh it's so beautiful. The doctor shows up. She's like, "Do you want a cup of tea?"
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, do you want a cup of tea?" I think she actually offers him a coffee.
Right, it's coffee, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very un-British.
Maybe
so
Jackie
we're gonna have to end the podcast here.
I'm sorry.
Doctor Who's been cancelled.
Sorry, the doctor hasn't showed up yet. I think her mum gives her a cup of tea or something. She goes on the
Oh, yeah.
internet and searches for like. She goes on eSearchWiseNet. That's what I wrote
What?
down. That's the name of the
Did
search
you? I
engine
didn't
she
even.
uses.
Oh
It's
god.
not Google. It's eSearchWiseNet.
Hang on? Can we just take a moment to look that up?
Yeah, okay.
eSearch WiseNet. Searchwise.net.
Searchwise.net is a search engine.
Is a search
But it is
engine.
only used in television programs such as EastEnders. Right.
Oh, okay.
It's a It's an anti-sponsorship mechanism. That is beautiful.
It's the anti-Google.
Well, so they don't give
actually,
it free advertising
Google
'cause they
really
love that shit.
Google's 2001, right?
Yeah, Google's
Google.
definitely.
So
at that
was
point,
Google
right?
that big, or would they have just used like Yahoo or something?
It probably would have been Yahoo. But
Ask Jeeves, that's what they would have used.
oh yeah, it would have been some other thing.
Yeah. Oh my god, 2005. What a fucking time.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
Weren't you having
Oh.
a great time back in 2005?
Was I? God, I was
Um,
probably watching some
I was
fucking...
a little confused, I think.
I was probably watching some great kids TV.
Yeah, same.
Heading off to high school.
Watching some.
Um,
Heading off to a
Yeah.
school.
what a great time.
Yeah. I think
Mm.
it's so like telling as to like what the show focuses on that we just keep talking about what 2005 was like because it's such a snapshot of some of the
There's
life,
just lots
right?
of like because there was lots of just like life snapshots. There was
Yeah,
just lots of shots
it's
of them
great.
walking through the streets,
And-
shots of them using a
But
computer.
that's because it's
shots of
meant to
them-
then be like it's meant to be like relatable to it's like relatable to
Yeah.
normal people of the time. But then for us, it's like, oh, this is what it was like. This is
18 years ago.
18
Yeah, it's just like
It's so
I remember
different.
it.
Oh,
But it's
It's
like
wild.
now I've got a thing in the palm of my hand that does a lot of things better than the computer I have that I sat at right now.
Yep.
It's like it's
Isn't it
like
great?
pretty crazy.
it's great.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know. It's just kind of great and magical getting to see the world of Doctor Who in 2005.
Yeah. It's just it is such an insane snapshot.
Yeah. Doctor shows up at Rose's
house,
Rose's place. Says hi, and then leaves again. I think he takes the arm. He like
No. Wait.
depowers the arm and then fucks off.
No.
right?
No. You've completely just skipped over. Okay, so he comes up and he's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And Rose is like, "I live here," and he's like, "See ya." But then Rose is like, "No, you got to come in." And she offers him a coffee, and then he's like waiting right outside. And Rose like makes an excuse for him being there to her mum. And then her mum's like in her dressing gown in her bedroom as she looks over to the doctor and is like, "There's a strange man in my house."
It's like,
And he's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
there is." And she's like, "I'm in my dressing gown." He's like, "Yeah, you are." And she's like, "Anything could happen." And he's like, "Nope." And he just walks into the living room.
it's so good. I love fucking Jackie. I love Jackie so much. She's so good.
And then she's like, "Oh."
It's just so. Oh my god. I love her. I love her so much.
And then they get attacked by the the doctor's just like doing loads of things where he's just like being super weird. Where
Yeah.
we're just basically like, yeah, this guy, because we don't know, obviously, like coming into this having like if we didn't know who the doctor was, then this is our thing to like go, wow, the doctor's kind of a weirdo.
They do a lot of things to set him up as like because they have to. There's a
like,
lot to
super-
explain, and he's like an immortal alien, and he's got this thing that travels through
'cause
time.
He
and
like
it's hard to
he
throw that
like
on you.
flicks through a book in like half a second. Goes, wow, weird ending, and he like looks at a thing as like, oh, that's Rose Tyler, and like figures out her name, and he like looks at something else
Looks at a
really
magazine
fast.
and you go, "Oh, that won't work. He's gay and
Yeah,
she's an alien."
yeah, and and then he looks at his face and he's like, oh, um, like says something about his appearance,
Yes, he
now that he's got
is.
a different appearance or something,
Yeah.
and so he's like, we're getting all these like thick context clues about the fact that, he,
This is just because it's episode 1. They got to explain, and the
yeah,
the
gotta
entire
explain
show.
Gotta drop a lot of bits of stuff in,
Yeah.
and then they get attacked by the arm. He depowers the arm, and then they leave.
Yeah, the entire show kind of hinges on like the Doctor as this enigmatic figure with all this
I
like.
think they do a lot of. There's
it's
a lot of
very
little tippity drop bits in this episode.
It's like the most constant thing about the show is how it focuses on, like, it revolves around the Doctor as this incredibly important person who is very esoteric.
Well, I mean, we've had
and
13
very detached
series
from.
since 2005, and we've only like really in the last few like kind of finally expanded on the Doctor's like finally sort of opened that Gallifreyan door and like the time
I haven't seen 'em.
war and stuff. And then the sort
Yeah,
of
but
more
I don't
recent
mean
seasons,
I don't mean
even,
like I don't mean like how like the mystery itself. I mean the fact that the entire show the entire show revolves around this ancient time traveling like wizard. Like it's this show about this space wizard who does space wizard things and has people there to help him remember not to be such a fucking weirdo space wizard about it. And like that is the like that is the sort of the strongest thing that exists throughout everything in the show. Is there's always this fucking space wizard who is weird in one way or another, and it's usually kind of dumb the way that he's weird. It's a pretty stupid way to be weird, but it's how he is. And you need some people around to remind them what humanity is like.
Yeah.
Because he forgets all the goddamn time because he's such a goddamn weird space wizard.
Yeah.
And, they have to set that up in the first episode because it's the first episode and nobody actually knows that the show is about the weird space wizard.
Yeah.
And that's why we get the fun scene. That's probably also why I skipped it, because I was just like, oh, that's obvious.
Yeah, I just like the Jackie flirting bit.
Oh, that bit's so good, yeah. Anyway, Doctor fucks off, disappears.
No, wait. Do you want to talk about before the Doctor fucking off, the beautiful monologue?
I honestly think I completely skipped over it. I don't think I was...
What do you mean?
I think I just blanked it.
What?
Like I
So
just...
the Rose asks who the Doctor is, and the Doctor goes, do you know, like you were saying about the Earth revolving? It's like when you're a kid, that first time they tell you the world's turning, and you just can't quite believe it, because it looks like everything is standing still. I can feel it, the turn of the Earth. The ground beneath our feet is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. The entire planet is hurtling around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour, and I can feel it. We're falling through space, you and me, clinging to the, fuck, I lost it. Clinging to, space on this tiny little world. And if we let go, that's who I am.
I think I had the exact reaction that the people of the time watching that probably had, which is I was watching that and I just thought, like, what a strange little man.
I think it's
this
good.
Guy's a bit odd.
And then he goes, forget all about me, Rose Tyler, and then he fucks off. And then either the Rose theme or the Bad Wolf theme plays, and I can't remember which one it is.
I know it's meant to be mysterious, but I watched that, I was like, kind of awkward. This guy's just a bit weird. You know, that's kind of excessively.
No, it's
you didn't need to be so dramatic about it, my dude.
No, it was great. It's such a great. I think
it's a strange little weirdo.
If you're listening to the podcast, go back and listen to the actual like thing of that, because it was so well delivered, so beautiful. And I fucked it up. I flubbed it.
I thought he was a strange little weirdo.
No, it's great.
Anyway, the Doctor fucks off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Rose Googles, Rose search wise nets him.
My favorite search engine. I'm going to use that all the time.
Finds the website of a guy in a shed. Goes to meet the guy with Mickey's help. Mickey drives her. She and him have a chat, and he explains how the Doctor's been at like all these disasters, and he's always like done something for somebody who barely made it out. You know, there's like always this. Oh, they just barely survived, but he's always there. And it's the same guy. There's a really funny like edit of the JFK assassination. The like Christopher Eccleston is staring straight forward into a camera, and it's been just like edited onto someone's head at the picture of JFK's assassination. Is great. But that's to like set up the mystery, and then Mickey gets eaten by a bin.
Yeah. Overlite was talking about bins earlier. Mickey gets eaten by a bin. I think that was where all the budget for this episode had gone.
What, the animation of him, his fingers getting
of the bin.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was quite extensive for 2005.
It was no Battlestar Galactica, I'll tell you that.
No, but like for like the Doctor Who level budget TV show, the bin, like what they did with that thing, that was like needlessly excessive animation for getting eaten by a bin. I'm surprised they even bothered putting that in.
Probably like just like a early production.
They should have had like
right?
a little corner shop or something with some mannequins, and like had the mannequins like sort of grab him out the car or something. Like, I don't know.
I think it was just one of those like. It was a very, you know, it's the first season, it's the first episode of the first season.
Yeah, gotta blow the budget on a bin. This funny
little show about a space wizard. And you know, sometimes weird shit happens and the entire budget gets blown on Mickey getting eaten by a bin.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Mickey, we're only gonna see him like twice this season, so
but he's kind of
get him eaten by a bin and replaced by a plastic version of himself. So.
He is a caricature of just a kind of a shitty boyfriend, like a stereotypical wife hater. It's kind of weird because I think he's got like some of that like boomer energy of like those, you know, all the like I hate my wife jokes that are really shitty and stuff. I think he's weirdly meant to be like, oh, all the children hate their girlfriends too, right? It just like, it looks really weird because he doesn't seem like a real person at all. Because he gets replaced by a plastic man, and Rose doesn't realize he's been replaced.
I just think he's just like the shit boyfriend. I just feel like he's the shit boyfriend. Like he doesn't like he cared enough to take her to that guy's house who told her about the Doctor, and was cared enough to sort of be like, I'm gonna be on lookout in case he's an ex-murderer. But apart from that, like he only gave a shit about was the football's on at the pub and I want to go and watch it with the lads. And when she came around to his house, he was like, take your clothes off. And so apart from that, like he's just a shit boyfriend. I think.
I guess so. I guess so. I think because I've seen Mickey be more of a character later. I'm just like, wow, who is this guy?
What are you thinking about, Mickey, or are you thinking about Ricky?
Ricky.
Fucking Mickey and Ricky.
I don't know who Ricky
Anyway.
Don't tell me, it's fine.
Moving on.
Yeah, Mickey gets eaten by a bin and replaced. The replacement takes Rose to dinner. Rose doesn't notice.
Rose doesn't notice.
Yep.
It's mind-boggling.
It's
he even drives the car really badly.
But that's why I think this is like, it's like such like boomer humor where it's like, oh, he disappeared and got replaced by a plastic robot who didn't even know how to drive, and Rose didn't even notice. What a fucking woman. Typical woman, not like it's got that kind of energy where I'm like,
Oh, I see.
like she somehow doesn't notice that he's just been replaced by some fucking, prank robot.
Mm.
And it feels like it's meant to be like the
man doesn't do anything.
Yeah, like some 50-year-olds were producing this and were like, and then she doesn't even. It's just like how we hate our wives. Hey, like that kind of a thing.
Got him. Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
Thank God for divorce.
I was watching it. I was like, yep, there's only
Yeah.
I don't know how she doesn't notice this immediately.
Eventually, the robot's
okay.
like, tell me about the doctor, and like goes Terminator on her, and then the doctor shows up and shoots a corkscrew at him.
She still doesn't notice, even though it's like going, tell me about the doctor, darling, like sweetie, wife, sweetie, darling, sweetie, like that, and it's like, okay,
That's a bit
Rose,
weird.
Can you not tell that this is Plastic Mickey?
Plastic Mickey. Sorry, that's such a good name for him.
But okay, like, short. Yep.
Anyway, doctor shows up, drags her off, he headlocks Plastic Mickey.
Yeah.
And gets his head off.
Yep.
Plastic Mickey who was eaten by a bin by plastic, is the same plastic then gets headlocked by the doctor, and it pops his head off, and they kidnap the head, bring it back to the TARDIS, and track down where the controlling brain is, but the head melts. They don't make it. No.
Yeah, and there was a really funny line because they're like, "Oh no! They're gonna take over all the plastic. They're gonna invade the whole country. All the plastic in the whole planet's gonna come to life. Every single bit. All of the like all the oil, all of the mannequins, all the something else, and then Rose goes, all the breast implants." Well, that line would not be in Doctor Who today.
Nope.
Oh my god, what a fucking solid line.
Absolutely beautiful.
It's great.
Yeah, there's a funny little bit about how it's a giant metal disc and they're standing in front of the London Eye.
Yeah.
They're like, where's the transmitter? It would have to be huge.
Right, huge and circular.
Comedy.
Yep.
It's literally like some pantomime, like, it's behind you.
That'd be
What
me, though. I'd be
is?
like,
I don't see anything. It's
that'd be me. I'd be like,
behind you.
I can't see the obvious thing. Somebody help, somebody save me.
Anyway, then they go into like a basement. There's some CGI lava in a pit.
Yeah.
The doctor's like, I will negotiate.
Yeah.
And
In
Mickey is
classic Doctor
there.
fashion. He's alive. But
Yep.
Rose is like really worried about Mickey the whole time. The doctor's like completely forgot he exists immediately. And then 2 seconds later, Rose is like, oh no, I'm going to have to tell his mother that he's dead. And the doctor's already forgotten that he existed again.
Yep.
And then it turns out he's alive. And the doctor's like, oh, it's always a possibility. She's like, what the fuck? What? You just completely forgot he existed. And he was like, yep, whatever.
It's too much of a weirdo space wizard.
He's like totally written Mickey off because he just like, even though he hasn't met him, I don't know. He's just like
the cold
totally
and
written this
uncaring
guy
doctor,
off.
you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, doctor negotiates. Anyway, the doctor like tries to negotiate with the CGI lava. And then the CGI lava like jumps him with some mannequins, and there's some funny science words like the shadow proclamation is brought up. I remember. I don't think I wrote. Oh yeah, constitutional rights apparently get brought up. And then, you know, the Doctor gets jumped and he's like, I'm sorry, I tried to save you, but I couldn't save them. I couldn't save any of them. And, you know, it's some of that edgy Doctor
like,
vibes.
The actual thing never speaks. The Nestine consciousness never actually speaks. It's just like...
It's CGI lava.
The Doctor's talking to it, and it's clearly supposed to be speaking, but it's just going...
It's making lava noises.
But then at one point you hear it go, Time Lord.
Wait,
like,
really?
Really quietly. Yeah.
Like
it whispers Time Lord at you. So... Yeah.
Very fun.
Very, very sneaky.
And then all the mannequins come to life and, you know, attack everyone with guns inside of their wrists. Which is, you know, oh no, the mannequins, and there's mannequins everywhere. London is burning to the ground. The anti-plastic vial that the Doctor has been taken off him by one of the mannequins. And then Rose is like, I've got no A-levels. I've got no job. I've got no future. But in the under-7 gymnastic local tournament, I got bronze. And she grabs a chain and she flies past Tarzan's down, in, kicks the mannequin with the anti-plastic into the CGI lava. The CGI lava dies in a beautiful explosion. Everything starts exploding.
Very Doctor Who-like.
Yeah.
She kills the alien.
Christopher Eccleston is like, haha, great job, even though I came here to negotiate and failed. But he doesn't really care at that point. They jump into the TARDIS and escape. And, you know, Rose checks on her mum. Mum's okay. She's like, oh, thank God.
She just hangs up.
Yep.
Her mum's like, oh, Rose, don't go out. Oh my gosh, don't leave the house, Rose. Even though she was trying to contact her mum before and say, don't leave the house. And so she just hangs up. She's like, oh God, my mum's still alive. So she just hangs up the phone.
Mickey is traumatized.
Yeah, Mickey's completely out of it.
He's like, oh, you can't stay away, he's an alien. Oh, he's
a fucking alien, mate.
Rose is like making puppy eyes at the Doctor. The Doctor's like, come with me. And then she's like, no, I have to stay. I've got
to look after Mickey, mate. Look at him. He's clinging to my leg and he's walking around on really low down crouch.
So the Doctor leaves. And that's it, and she gets up and she walks away. And then he comes back 4 seconds later and he's like, did I mention it travels through time? And then she turns to Mickey and she's like, thanks. It's like, for what? And then she just runs into the TARDIS. Yeah,
she slow-mo runs to the TARDIS. And it goes...
Escapism! Yeah, the Doctor does give it a little, like, we could go anywhere, see anything, the whole universe. Like, it's a real, like, escapism moment.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I'd love to go anywhere, do anything, see the whole universe.
I mean, it's not the most interesting plot, honestly, which is kind of why I tried to freewheeling and skip through it. And I think it's more interesting the, like, stuff we talked about with the scenes.
But I feel like, you know, we had to kind of touch on it.
By explaining every single scene. I think we just did like every scene.
Well, whatever. We had to talk about the plot because we watched the episode. Otherwise, we may as well have just picked like any episode.
Plot is cringe. This episode was great because it highlighted some really
up the show and it highlights the 2005ness. And honestly, this goes like,
exactly.
Would you watch more of 2005 Christopher Eccleston Doctor Who Overlite?
Yeah, I would, because in the episode preview, they highlight some kind of special alien meeting, and they're introducing who's turning up. And the first that they're like, introducing trees. I'm just like, yeah, trees. Let's go.
Woo!
It's like tree people.
We love trees.
So funny. But yeah, no. Honestly, I didn't give a shit about the plot. This episode just did a great job setting up the show and setting up and it was a good episode because it did a bunch of cool stuff.
A lot of little tease bits in there. Like Rose goes to get some Doctor Who lore from a random dude on the internet. The bad guy whispers Time Lord.
It's so Doctor Who.
like talks about the TARDIS.
Doctor Who loves just
the Doctor
randomly
drops the Shadow Proclamation
Yeah.
and mentions some sort of war and not being able to save people.
But that's what Doctor Who does, is where it literally will just randomly be like, oh, he's haunted by his past, and then it won't bring it up for another 5 seasons.
Yeah, and then it's just like suddenly it's a very important plot point, and then it won't come up again. And suddenly it's a very important. No, it comes up again next episode.
Or the
100%.
Shadow Proclamation.
No, the wall. Because
yeah.
the trees talk to him about it. It's definitely a big thing.
Right.
For sure.
I haven't seen the episode.
What?
If I have, it's been too long.
It's been 18 years.
I wasn't 12 when I watched the show, so I don't have a perfect memory of it, you know?
Jesus. Well, damn. Feels old, man. Don't need that today. And on that sobering thought, I guess it's time to wrap up the episode. Fucking hell.
I love Doctor Who. I love it so much. It's so stupid and I love it.
I'm so old now.
It's great. It's low budget.
But I kind of want to watch. I honestly, genuinely kind of want to sprinkle some more. Like we watch some of the other.
The other episode ones.
Yeah, like hop around some of the other.
We could try it, yeah.
Yeah.
We could do them all, but that would take like weeks.
Well,
we don't have weeks.
Well, it's not that many because if we just do off of the other.
Oh yeah, there's only 5
Doctors,
or so, right?
Yeah, there's not as many.
So what? It's
like we're not doing every season.
Done Eccleston, so we've got Tennant.
Because Tennant has like 3 fucking seasons.
Tennant,
so.
Smith, Capaldi, Jodie. Is that it?
Yeah,
like Smith so. Did Smith just
and
do
then
tons
Shooty when they come out, but
Shooty. Let's go. Oh my god, yeah, maybe we'll make it in. Oh well. Christmas.
I don't even know if, but it's gonna be Tennant still, right? Because spoilers.
It's gonna be some weird mashup or something. I don't know.
I think it's gonna be
weird with it.
Yeah, I don't even know what's happening.
Next Doctor Who episode. Yeah, we could do the next 5 episode 1s, or the next 4, and then when Shooty drops, we can do Shooty. Gross. Oh, sorry, hang on. Oh, Rose. It's me, I'm Northern. The Northern Doctor. Come with me, Rose. Escape your shitty minimum wage job living with your mum.
That I blew up.
I'll help
totally
you out.
Fucked it.
You don't have to eat, sleep, repeat. You can speak to some aliens.
But I can have you back tomorrow at the same time. So you can live 10 years in 2 seconds if you want.
Aye.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Signing off. Kiss.